Hey, folks. Hey, folks. I'm Cloaked Games. Today I'm working on enemy coding. I think everything's set up, and I should be able to just add an enemy without too much hassle. Though you know how coding is; anything unexpected could happen. So I expect that. But I think I'm alone in the house with pretty strong internet, and unless one of my roommates comes back and starts playing a multiplayer video game, I should be okay. So let's go. Lots of things to do, like to properly prepare for this. The first thing I'm going to do is just import a placeholder sprite, and then we'll update the sprite once the enemy is all coded. I think. Not that. I'm gonna have to look for the sprite. Give me a minute. Should have prepared that before. I've cleared my downloads. I probably deleted it. Oops. Okay, we'll just draw a placeholder then. That works too. Oh, and I don't think. There we go. Biomes, walls, enemies. We have a dummy. Let's create. I'm going to specify that it's a green globber because I think I'm going to add other globbers. I need a sprites folder. I think 16 by 16 is the right color. And I'm just gonna, oops. Okay, here's our globber. Let me add a collision mask. That should be fine. Set that sprite. It should inherit from entity visible. And I think it will need a shadow. We can have the shadow later. And entity visible, just to double check, I think should have everything that I need to do this. Cool. Let's put this into our room. Where is my player? Oh, the player's gonna spawn like over here all the time. So I'm gonna put him... I'm gonna put him over here and let's see what happens when I start my code if my player spawns where I want him to. Put a bunch of these guys on the platforms for testing. And let's run this. And I think, let's see if my player code, yeah, it doesn't. Add use actions. Is this? Is this the globbers causing the problem with the player object? That's a different question. It's the player. Okay, that's fine then. I will... What? Where are the... Okay, Game Maker. You're, gotta place him again, I guess. This is not how I wanted to start this stream. Give me a hot minute. But okay, now I need to read the error. Oh, I'm silly. That was some testing code. I went just to contextualize the code above it, and I should have put it in the comments. Okay, but that's resolved. The code is correct. I should add try catches for that kind of thing so that I have a better idea. Okay, so now I can also test the putting the player into the room to see if it spawns there. I think it might. No. Yeah, of course. Nope, I spawned a player. Okay, so there's these guys, and I don't think they'll do anything besides be depth sorted. Hey guy, what's up? The other player's hanging out. And this happened, because... Game Maker is great. I'm apparently irritable today. Wasn't ready for coding. Okay, but that's sorted. All I need is... Lost my train of thought. Right, I'm fixing the player thing. Is it game that does this? Yes, room start. What happened? Cool. Now we got that player that I put into the room. What is Game Maker okay? Like doesn't usually do it this much. That's fine. It's having a time. I probably should update later. I think there might, is there a hotfix for .11? I don't know. Okay, so that's good. I'm gonna actually commit those changes because that's some bug fixing. No, I don't want that. Like if I want to be able to, if I mess up the globber somehow, undo that commit. So. Later I might have a like inherit stats from monster data kind of thing, but probably not because I think every enemy is going to need its own object anyways, so it's fine. I can set my stats HP max to 6, and I think the I think it's in here for now. Nope. Attack. Can remove that, I think. It's not in actions. Where did I put it? Huh? This is a new code base, and I haven't quite, like, remembered where stuff is. Is this? I'm looking for that. It's actions. Oh, action functions. Of course it is. Yep. This is a temporary spot for it. It's just here because I wanted to use it to reference this code. Eventually, this will have its own script for, like, player items, but... but in the meantime... Okay, so here's the Fated Axe damage. Does two damage slashing, which, let me open my damage table. Should do 0 crit versus a Globber, so base damage. I can add the Globber's attributes here. And it is going to be elastic. Not normal, natural, elastic. Here. Natural, elastic, wet, freezable, and conductive. Some of these might eventually be like automatically applied, but for now, wet, freezable, and conductive. Cool. And these three don't do anything in the code right now. They're just included, and I'll put them here for now. Attributes and stats. And everything else should be default for this guy. Oh, I need a movement speed. What's the player's speed right now? Cool. Well, first of all, let's bump that up. And then make the Globber slow. Cool. Next, we just want to do damage. So what we want is, instead of doing this, where this axe right now just targets the player, because that was what I was doing to test the damage handling. What I need to code in here is a way to target a collision cone in front of the player, and then do damage to all of those. And actually, for our testing ahead of time, I'm going to do this and put a couple of these guys overlapping. Cool. then I just need to, okay, it's time to do collisions. Wow, I'm scatterbrained. I need this coffee to kick in. User target collisions. How do I want to do this? Do I want to have a collisions list that's separate from the targets list? Do I have... I do have that. Did I write this or did someone else write this? I did. Cool. I think that might be added in later versions, I'm not sure. Okay, so act dot collisions equals dslist create. I would like to keep the DS list because then I don't have to create and destroy a new one every time. That does mean I will need to clean that up. DS list destroy act dot collisions. Okay. So now the action collisions are there. I can use them in here. That's a little bit of, I'm doing some weird scoping stuff with that. I don't know if it's good practice, but it's the best I can come up with. And it's tolerable. It's probably the best system like this that I've developed before. I mean, you know, I have a lot of practice at this point. I'm not totally happy with it yet, but it's better than Auto Dreams. It's better than the real-time strategy game that I develop for my job. It's well practiced at this point. I don't know if this would work for that other project, but I don't know, I'm thinking about that. Don't. Arcanaclysm. So I need to... This would just set the targets array to be the collisions list. That's all this is going to do. Target collisions. And I will have a... I don't need that. Keep it simple. None. That's it. Cool. Okay, so then this I won't have. I will have user radius, and then do this for now. I'm not sold on that naming convention, but that's not the point right now. Right now it is to get it working. And then this is going to be the radius. And this is going to be the object. I guess it should be object then radius. That makes the most sense. It's fine. I really have a desire to do it correctly, which is silly, because that's not how code works. Code is only doing it working. Collision circle list. X, Y, radius. Object. I guess for consistency's sake, this should be radius object. Precise. No, not me. Yes, I think that's safe to say will always be the case. If I want something that also damages itself, I'll throw in an extra line that does that. List act.collisions, and yeah, I will order it. It's a little slower that way, but I'm not concerned about this kind of collision checking. Okay, so the idea is this is going to take everything in this collision list from whatever previous function set it to and remove or include the ones that have a particular angle from the player. Or whatever entity is performing this code. It does not have to be a player. Can you set... This might need to become later act.expos. Hell, let's just do that right now. That is such a good idea that I'm going to do that right now. Form action. Okay, so this is important because, and I'm going to do it for that one too, just so that I don't get confused. This is important because later, though probably not, but later I might want to be able to attach this component to structs and not only instances. And this doesn't fix that, but this makes it much easier to fix it later. This would be the first step in fixing it, and because I'm writing all of these functions, if I'm already using the cached versions of those variables, then I can hijack them with whatever else I want later. By just having a version of this for structs instead of instances, or even a check here, like if an instance exists with that ID or whatever, then like if this thing calling it is an instance versus a struct, I can just fix it here. But I don't have to do that right now, I just have to have it cached right now. And this also makes sure that there's no lingering data from previous things. So collision circle list. And now I'm gonna collisions filter angle, direction, angle, inclusive equals. Not inclusive, that's not. I'm gonna not worry about that. Because you can technically just do the math. You just, when I later use this and I want it to be outside of that radius, I would just take the angle plus 180 and make the radius, like the offset bigger. So I'm not gonna code that in here. Maybe later when I get around to doing something like that, I might code it, but. Okay, so DS list size dot collisions. I could cache the size, but I don't. Well, why not? I don't think there's any downside to doing that. Okay. Nope. Okay, so we're going to go through the whole list, and then we're going to get a direction from this, from the calling actor, the calling. Oh, I got to get my terminology right. This would be, well, it's an entity and an instance. So from the calling instance to the collided instance, and we're going to remove it if, and in fact, I should do this the other way around. This is a trick. If you're going to delete something from a list, do your for loop from the top instead, and then you can just delete whatever you want as you go down, and you will not cause any out of bounds issues. So if this is less, then we're going to do ds list delete act.collisions I, and we're good because I'm looping from the top to the bottom, or whatever way, from the end to the start of the list. So as we delete, the list gets shorter, but does not intersect with where we're making changes. And I actually want this to be outside of that angle. Now the problem is, I need a way to pass this Okay, hold on. Let's test this first before I go into where I was thinking. Okay, so that's fine. This needs to be, we'll make him swing upwards for now. So that's 90. And the angle of that is, yep. Okay, the angle, we'll say 45. So that should be a total of 90 degrees up like this. And that should hit it. Oh, wrong button. Really? Collision circle list. Incorrect type, accepted number, argument 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't put an object in. Or a radius, for that matter. Oh, hey, look, it worked. That's the axe. If I hit it here, it doesn't hit. I go stand up here, it hits. Okay, let's make it die and react to like getting hit so that we can see that happening, which is part of attack handling. And then I'll go fix up this to make it more generalized. Attack. There we go. So far, all we do is we calculate damage. And then log it. That's what it does. And I still want to log the damage result because that's convenient for testing. But there's more steps to this that I need to implement now. Calculate damage, and then it needs to actually take damage. So an entity with health, I guess that's part of, where's the components? Entity. Component entity needs taking damage as a function. Now I'm thinking about if I want I want to take damage method. And then maybe I'll do some handy global functions just for like hey, I want that attack to do damage to that thing, and I don't want to have to worry about scoping or dereferencing a cached or a registered attack template or whatever. But I can add those later. For now, I want to do it as a method. Take damage. Well, hold on. There's two things here that I think I want to separate. I want one for just reducing the health of an entity. And then I want one that takes a damage result struct and does all of it, which would include like knockback and particle effects and things. What is this called? It's called, oh sorry, let me move this to there. Damage result. Okay, so one thing is this calculate damage needs to also worry about knockback. And hit stun, because I think I want to be able to modify those with status effects and things like that. So that has to be part of calculate damage. I'm going to call this take damage and apply damage. And if that's confusing, I'll rename them later. But this will take a damage result with a more complicated effect. This will just be an amount. Apply damage will call take damage. But that way I can like just tell something to lower its health and handle like this function, take damage, will handle like it dying, actually dying. Calling its death event and stuff. I'll probably have a kill method too. Just call it die. Dot die. Oh my god. Okay. We're all set, right? We've got everything we need. For now, I think this is just instance destroy, but I need a method for that so that I can A, call it whenever I want, if I want to kill something without having to lower its health to 0. And I can put like cleanup code in there and address like errors that might pop up when something is dead, like remove references to it, if it's queued anywhere, right, etc. I guess these are going to apply in the opposite order. I'll do them like this. I don't know which is better, but I mean, die is certainly going to happen then. This will be called, then this will be called, then this will be called. And I can call any of the 3 depending on exactly what I want to happen. I'll add the JS doc at the end. I'm going to close that because that's nonsense. I don't have HP yet. Also, I'm gonna name this reduce health. And then I can add gain health later. And then this can be take damage. Because damage in this code base is a whole system. Well, it's got an attack. I guess it's called attack. So I guess it should be take attack. I'll go, well, no, it's a damage result. So take damage is a damage result. Reduce health just does that. I use my attack. Yeah, hold on a second. No, where is it? Attack.attack act.myid. Attack.attack. It's real. My code base is perfectly understandable. Okay, so I just want to declare HP here, except then when I have my entity like this one, I'm gonna set the HP max, and then HP is just it's still 0 or whatever it is that I set it to. I guess what I do is I add I do that. I can just set the HP to the max value when you set the stat. That's probably correct. If there's something that would like lower, let's do it like this. The problem is that I don't want to just like forget to set the health value for every single thing. Let's do it like this. This adds one function that I have to call in the create event, but this does also let me hijack this with optional parameters, so I could like override stuff. And it lets me reset an entity like in combat. So like if I wanted to be like, it regenerated to its original state, or I could have a mimic that changes what kind of thing it is. So I'll use entity initialize for that. And then here I will just set there we go. And I think I'm going to put that right here at the top, even though it will be called after the other things because it's much more important. And down here is our damage handling. Okay, so now I have health. I could just say amount, and then if HP is less than or equal to 0, die, 4 for 4. Easy. And then in damage handling, I need to get the damage result, has damage, crits, and description. The only thing I care about right now is damage. Reduce health, result, dot damage. But this will add, like, I'll add a little star for every crit you have, or little pop-up messages based on whether it is like resisted or immune to status effect or things like that, which will be added to the damage result thing. So yeah, that's the whole chain. This should now work. If I hit Z 3 times, the Globber should die. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was the wrong button. 1, 2, 3. Ah, shucks. Let's just add a health bar right off the bat. This is something I learned, you know, it's so simple, but I don't think I understood it deeply in my head until much more recently, which is that if you're trying to implement something, give yourself a way to visualize it in the game. Just that's the first thing you should do. Like weirdly, sometimes coding like the UI for like an inventory, for instance, is the first thing you should do, because then, assuming your UI works, you can actually see what's happening and it's much quicker to debug things. So instead of like adding a print message to my Globber, I'm going to code the health bar now. Because I now know I have HP and I have HP max. That's all I need for the health bar. I don't care about how it's damage handling. And then once I have a health bar, I can actually see whether it's taking damage. So I don't need to print. I can just do that. What I want to do is under systems, not systems, components entity, I'm going to add a component for show health bar. And this component does depend on entity, but I will trust on that. Well, it is only visible entities, so that makes sense then. Actually, I'll put entity in the name just to make sure that it's clear to me later that that is an entity dependent thing. My component system doesn't yet have support for like component dependencies, but eventually I'd like to be able to say like something like dot requires entity. And then this component will throw me a useful error message if I try to use it or add it to something that doesn't already have that other component. Or even I could have something like this, dot requires entity true, and this true would mean if I try to add this component without this required component, add that other component for me. But right now it doesn't work, so I'm just gonna have to be careful. It doesn't support that. I'll do that in the future. Add event.draw. Why is it game maker? I know that's not a function. Now that I've erased it, will you work? What did I do wrong? Add event. Oh. Okay, that one was my fault, not game maker's. And I'm gonna just use this classic old draw health bar. We'll make it 8 pixels wide. This is just a manual code. Amount is HP divided by get stat. Times 100, because for some reason this takes 8% instead of a value between 0 and 1. I know why. It's because this is for beginners to use, and a percent makes sense, except it's so much harder because you have to remember how to multiply by this 100, which isn't that bad, but like you need to do math as opposed to just divide the two things. Actually, you know what? I take it back. This is bad. This should not expect a number at all. It should just ask for a value and a maximum. Like this code should be like this, comma, maximum. That is how this function should work, even for new people. But I know how to do math, so it's fine. Back color, min color, just do red for now. Actually, we'll do direction 0, show back, true, show forward, true. So all my entities should have health bars? Nope. Why does the player not have HP? What? This is why this is a bad idea. I need to call that automatically. I don't know when or how, but that needs to be called automatically, or I'm going to do this every single time I make an entity. What? What is wrong with this health bar? Ah, it's just scaling weird. I'll have to code my own like usual. Okay, it is not taking damage. Just not. Hey, there's 2 damage there, so it's calculating damage, but it's not taking it. Wait, did I even... Hey, let's try this. Let's try asking the thing to actually do the thing. Let's actually run the code that I spent 20 minutes implementing. That might actually work then. Hey, it does. It works perfectly. When I call the code that I wrote, it did work. And these guys will all get killed at once. Okay, I wasn't close enough. Cool. Heck yeah. Alright, so that guy is dead. And it has been 1 hour, so I'm going to take a brief break and come back in a few minutes. I will be right back. Actually, hold on. Let's go to camera. Let's change the text. Well, actually, let's copy the text as a duplicate and change this one to be right back. Can I rename it? Huh, can't rename it. That's a shame. Oop. Learn in OBS on the fly. Okay, I'll be back. I'm back. Just in time for a jazzy piano arrangement. I like to take a break. Or, walk around the house once, refill my water bottle. About once an hour. Even when I'm streaming. Sometimes I just stream for longer. I'm like, okay, I'll stream for 2 hours and then take a break. But today I might go for 3 or 4 hours since I just want to get work done, so. Let us go. This part worked. I hate this. I'm going to spend a little bit thinking about how I could improve this. I don't want to have to call this. Everything I can think of is worse than how it is right now, so I'll just let that simmer. I guess what I can do to just prevent crashes is just call that once down here. In there, actually. And that way, at least it won't crash, but I will spawn enemies and I'll be like, why does that have 1 health? And it will be because I forgot to initialize it. But at least I'll have a health value. So. Okay, so health bar is there. It is taking damage. It is dying. Let's do the hit, stun, and knockback. Oh no, let's change it. Let's make it so I can change what angle I'm swinging at. And yeah, let's do that. So what I need is for this. Not that, yeah, this. Yes, that. To be a variable instead. What I'm thinking... hold on. What does Yellow Afterlife have to say? This is what I was thinking of. And this is one thing I often do this as well. Well, not that. I do, to do this pass by reference thing, I often do use enumerators to refer to like this damage dot or whatever. Then I would put an enum reference in here and that would be a pointer to a variable in the array. I don't want to do that here because I can't make every single variable that my whole thing uses a, close that, there we go, a thing. Kind of what I thought. I'm just gonna do it like this for now, and I don't like this. Can you do it like this? This should be act.myid. Dot self. That's not. Hold on. This is gonna crash. Wait. It won't because I didn't put a string in there. Hold on. Player. I'll use that for now. This is just something. This is just an experiment. I think it's a bad plan. Okay. Where is my... There it is. This is gonna crash, I think, with a weird error message. Oh. It didn't. In fact, it worked. I hate it when the code works when I thought it wouldn't. That's like worse than the other way around. I'm writing the JS doc for this one because I want to not be confusing about Can you do something like that? Oh! Oh my! Today I learned. That's amazing. That also means I have to change the JS docs in frickin' gen scripts. What we learned is that I can list multiple variable types before the variable in the documents, and it will list it here as both as that or the other, real or a string, next to direction. It's a very minor thing. It's just, these don't matter. They're just to leave notes basically for when I'm coding later. Okay, so that works. And if you pass in a string, it's gonna just do this always. I should probably generalize this line into something, so it could be like... So, yeah, I can do something like this. I will do it later. This line is fine for now, as an example. And I'm thinking about the performance impacts because this isn't my favorite thing to do, but I don't think I care because in the case of actions, there will be at most 3 or 4 of these happening at once for one frame. I don't think... If I had a condition in an action that was going to happen multiple frames, then I should cache the dereferenced variable. But this is doing a collision once. It's going to dereference it once. Maybe a really complicated action would have to do that 3 or 4 times in the whole thing. But that's still code that's going to call one time. This isn't a particle system. This isn't I don't think that I need to optimize this. This is going to be fine. Which means I can pass in this, or I can pass in a number. And this will just return this variable within the scope of the actor of the user, basically, which is act.myid. Cool. Okay, the axe works. Now, I'm going to commit that because I think that's a task. And I'm going to work on hit, stun, and knockback. And maybe screen shake. Be a little bit of fun. Faded axe action. Okay, that's committed. Calculate damage needs to include the hit stun frames and the Now, how should I do this? I'm gonna do that for now, and then I'll replace those defaults with settings once I decide how I actually want to make this expandable, because I don't necessarily want to keep adding these variables to this top and then having to come up here and edit them all. I actually think it's probably going to be the case that I want to wait, maybe calculate damage. Ooh, I like this. I actually quite like this. And I won't do this right now because I don't have any. Oh yeah, this does need dealer. So they'd all just modify the same struct. And then I can chain these together. And every step of the damage calculation is in its own little function. And then if I add new, combat features that might be affected by attributes or stats, I can do this. Oh, in fact, I already have one, which is, I think, elastic enemies should take like 4 times knockback, so they're super bouncy. But only against smashing or crushing damage and explosive damage. Elastic enemies will take super increased knockback. So calculating the separate phases is good. The damage could be, and I can do, in the knockback calculation, I can say if you got if you took no damage, then you shouldn't take knockback or hit stun. Same for both of those. Whereas right now, even if you take 0 damage, you'll still take the default hit stun. So this all makes sense, and I'll get to there eventually. But for now, this means that I do have knockback and hit stun as default values available to the player, so I can go code those in and see how they behave. So take damage, that's where that's gonna all happen. We reduce health by the amount of damage. I guess I should do knockback should also be a method, but I'm just going to code it here for now. And it doesn't know what hit it. So this would mean I would need knockback to have a magnitude and a direction, or yeah, I think I want it to do that. Knockback. We'll equal that. Hit stun I'll put down here. Knockback length. Nope. Can't do that. Nope, magnitude is already... Okay, I'll just do LEN and DIR. Damage, knockback default. And we'll just say knockback will happen up. I need to actually record stuff today, but winter motivation is on the floor. Yeah. Honestly, me too. I'm streaming because it was one of the only ways I could convince myself to do any work. So that's my secret. I stream just to force me to be productive. But I'm having fun. And hopefully you'll find some motivation to record as well. I don't think I can stream video editing, so that probably won't work. Yeah. You could like co-working stream where you just, well, you don't have a second monitor right now, but you could like just stream your webcam and that's it. It'd be like, hey, I'm working, we're listening to music and doing nothing else. But that isn't your usual type of content. X plus equals, so I'm going to do a very simple just move it. When I smack it, it will go 16 pixels away from the player. No, it will go 16 pixels up. Smacked, smack, smack, smack. Oh, hey, it doesn't even... Yeah, okay. So now I do have to calculate these... I do have to calculate knockback. Knockabacka. There we go. Splatoon talent run. Every time I lose a match, I spend 15 minutes video editing. I mean, I'm saying I think a lot of your community would show up for that, but I don't know if it would be. It would probably be distracting. I'd lurk at least. That's what I normally do. I'm almost always co-working with your stream, to be honest. Yeah, I do lurk a lot. Okay, that's there. I'm gonna call it result again. I'm tired of typing it all out. Ah, that's not result. That's how I want to do it. There we go. Very clean. Okay. So that's going to calculate the knockback. Now I just have to... actually do the knockback calculation. So that will be for when I adjust the knockback magnitude. But for now, the only thing I need is the direction from dealer Delir. Okay. That should be it. Now it will knock back away from the player instead of... Yep. Yep. I can bat these guys around. If I hit these guys from the bottom, they should go away from me. Sick. Okay, I think the default knockback should be less than 16 pixels. That's a little bit crazy. Default knockback. Make that half. Sick. For testing sake, let's make elastic enemies take increased knockback and massively increased knockback against... let's just have them take a flat increased amount. And then for... Yeah, eat the slime, exactly. That's what I want. I guess it's not part of the attribute. Like, elastic enemies don't necessarily take increased knockback, but the slimes do? Unless they take increased knockback only from certain damage types. Here's my damage types. So like maybe only crushing and explosive do increased knockback versus explosive should do lots of knockback against everything. And crushing could do increased damage versus elastic. The player's gonna have a hammer attack, so that's what I'm thinking of. Like, the hammer should do more knockback, but the hammer could just have more knockback. It doesn't have to be hard-coded as versus elastic. So let's just give enemies a knockback multiplier for now. Which is a default of 1, so we need to set those to a default value for entity. Nope, default stats. And then for the, so let's test it. Hey JK, what's up? This should be 8 pixels. Nice, pig step. And now I want to make the Globber have increased knockback multiplier of, well, let's just make it a really big number just to see. Oh, I didn't. That was underwhelming. Hold on. I didn't actually do the thing. Not me. I'm down, floored from a day of stressful work. Sorry to hear that. Okay, yeah, that slime is yeeted. Get out of here, slimes. This would be so annoying. Gotta hunt them down. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna do this like this. Actually, I'm gonna do it like this. Knockback, damage knockback default. Okay, I'm gonna cache these length and direction into local variables, calculate them separately, and then I'm gonna set them here. Result dot when equals length. Result dot here equals here. So I spell result. Okay, I'm gonna double check that I didn't scuff that up by I did. Look, they don't bounce super far anymore. What happened? What? I thought that was good and done. What happened? It's not taking 0. What is going on here? Good old print messages. Smack that guy. Okay, it is calculating. Here's the knockback. Oh. Okay. My bad. That's why we print the result of our damage computation. Okay. The knockback has an extra, it's knockback dot length. One second. Animal Crossing. That's the knockback. I'm gonna do the hit stun too. And doing the thinking. Coding, so much just sitting and thinking. Should the hit stun... Well, first of all, let's just make a visual hit stun. That's all that matters initially. Here's the hit stun. All the hit stun should be is a duration, I think. So all I need to do is in the entities component add hit stun stuff. And I think I want to do this properly for hit stun and knockback both. Knockback's gonna need its own set of variables, because right now it's just teleporting that far away. I need it to have like momentum, so it's gonna get hit some distance, but it's gonna move at a speed that way instead. At some point, I need to figure out how to add a private scope to the context of a component, so that I can do all these private variables differently. But for now, I'll just do them the old-fashioned way and then update the private variables later, which won't be that big of a deal because I will have already coded getters and setters. I should be using them. So hit stun timer. Does it just need hit stun? It's just a timer, so it's a frame timer, so easy. And then I can add event to handle the hit stun. This is so pretty. I love this code. And I can add okay, so think about, I want it to blink while it's being hit. Classic Zelda style and the last librarian style. I'm not confident yet how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure it out. Do I have a... I don't have... I'm gonna have to import my pseudo-random. That's fine. I think I can just pull that out of Dreams. That should be fine. Pretty sure I wrote that out like a library. Clean enough code to use. Now the problem with this code is it will become invisible still while it's like it has a 50% chance of ending as invisible. So I want if hit stun is -1, then image alpha equals 1. And for the sake of clarity, I'm going to do that. Okay, and then before I add a getter or setter, let's just test this. Take damage. Should be 15 frames. Let's see. Okay, it worked. Let us make the default hit stun more like 30 frames. And I'm going to reduce the Globber's knockback multiplier from 8 to 6-ish. I'll adjust knockback multiplier stuff later. I'm just fiddling with it because... Okay. Can I attack diagonal? Don't think so. Good. Is dummy also an entity? Yeah. I want to make a dummy that's has a knockback multiplier of 0 so I can test hit stun and things like that. Dummy create. And this is the slime create. Now, for practice sake, what attributes would a dummy have? Plant. Plant, flammable. I'm imagining like a straw dummy, so it's made of straw. And it's not natural because it's not alive. So it's just plant. Any others? Nope. Cool. And I'm going to give it a knockback multiplier of 0, which might... be sufficient. I think that could be how it works. That, like, rooted things will just always have a knockback multiplier of 0. And then we'll give it a lot more health. And spawn some. Okay. Dummy is there. Cool. That was easy. User, target. What am I looking for next? It's going so smoothly, like every task gets checked off and then I'm like, I should have, I don't know, written a to-do list ahead of time, and then I keep getting flustered when I finish the thing and it works. I could add getters and setters for this, then I can work on the knockback calculation, I can add screen shake. I think I want to make the Globber jump up and down next, because that's more fun. So we'll do that next. And I am going to take one more break. How hungry am I? I might need lunch. Did I eat... What did I eat for breakfast? When did I eat breakfast? These are all important questions for someone that wouldn't eat if I did put conscious effort into remembering to eat. I'm gonna end stream, I think, and I will go eat lunch and then work on this. I'll post a little update video, I think, no promises, when I'm done with the Globber. And show it eating, I'll show it bouncing, landing. I might even add sound effects right away. But yeah, I think I want to get that done, not necessarily today because I need to do some paid work as well, but soon. So thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck everybody else with your work today, since it sounds like people are having a rough time today. It's a rough Monday. And bye for now. I was looking at the second monitor because that's where chat is, but I should look at the camera. I need to practice with these different scenes. Bye for now.